Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? So, we've got a lot going on. I mean, I was listening to somebody earlier this morning, because I get up crazy early, and they were saying that it could wind up being a summer rally. And I've heard that term before. I just haven't seen it. What I would consider a summer rally. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. For me, frankly, I've made arrangements so I can have enough dry powder, right, to move fast. And then I'm just DCAing. I'm not making any major investments. I'm just DCAing into what I already have. And that's because I think that's a good, solid strategy for a market that I'm unsure of. How's that sound? For me, it's one of those, I wish I could go solid on something. I just don't feel it. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing signs that the uncertainty is easing or anything else like that. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to see signs that the uncertainty is going to get worse. Sorry, lips were a little dry. Nobody likes dry lips. Rick Ritchie, I know what you're thinking. Shut up. So I was thinking about it, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? That's a good move. Leave it on the side. Relax. Leave it on the side. Relax. Don't think of your dry powder as, my money's not doing anything for me. It's your safety net. It's not even a safety net. Well, technically it is a safety net. But beyond that, it's I can make a major move. That's what it serves as. And that's kind of what I look at, is can I make a major move? You know what? I'm not crazy about the lighting. There you go. I think I like that more. Sorry about that. T-shirt showing and everything. Looking like a heathen. That's better. That's much better. So I'm just looking at things and I'm like I said, I just don't think that the uncertainty or chaos in the market is going to ease. I don't think that we're going to see things that'll change, that'll give us a more sure-footed look at what's going on, right? There's news out of the White House that they're going to start holding back information. So you don't want the American public to know things. And that scared me. No, it had nothing to do with the economy. But it scares me because it says that this is going to be our practice. So only a few people will know what our government is going to do. And then everybody else will find out after the government does it. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on a second. For the economy, that's not a good thing. You're not going to telegraph that you're planning on doing something else with tariffs or anything else. You see where I'm going with the whole uncertainty thing? So that announcement is not a good thing. To me, it's not a good thing at all. It's kind of scary to me. But, that could just be me. U.S. regulators approved the Invesco Galaxy Solana ETF and the Canary Pengu ETF, the filings. With Galaxy Digital Funds as execution agent and Coinbase as custodian amid SEC review of over 24 altcoin ETF applications as Solana and Pengu tokens face recent price declines. It's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so they made it to the next step. So it's only but some time before they actually get on the clock. Wow. I think they filed the 19 4Bs or the 19 B4s, I think is what it is. I have to look that up. I should go look at my book because it's in the book. Then ACX listed biotech firm Opal purchased 2 Bitcoin, about $330,000. And I'm like, how did you get to $330,000? Oh, where you buy it, how you buy it is going to make a difference, right? and when you buy it. So, and it's via the Digital X Bitcoin ETF, funded by a $2 million non-dilutive loan from Antanas Guoga, despite its precarious financial position of $64,000 in cash and less than 1 month of runway. So what they're hoping for is the news of we're a Bitcoin treasury will pump up their business. Remember last week, I think it was last week or the week before last, I told you about how some financial advisors are saying, hey, look, listen, you should be paying attention to companies that are doing this. Because not all companies getting into Bitcoin reserves are good. You got $64,000 in the bank and less than 1 month of runway to run your business, and you're going to go out and buy Bitcoin. That's not bright. To top it off, Australia's ASIC launched an investigation into ACX's $250 million blockchain project failure, led by a panel including Rob Whitfield, with a report due by March 2026 after the project was scrapped in 2022 due to design flaws. So even ACX is having its hood looked. So they're lifting up the hood, like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? $250 million? $250 million? What'd you do? What didn't you do? Yeah. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Those are the things that I tell people to do all the time. Follow the GMB3, because that's what that is. Follow the GMB3, and it will help you get better. It will help you get better. Want it at your fingertips? Buy the book. It'll really help you. The first part of the book is all about learning how to do your own research. So the class I gave in person, live, it's in ink. Okay? And I'll probably go back to doing live classes and everything else, but I felt like everybody needed to have it. The second part of the book is, know how to do your own research. Third part of the book, obviously, is absolutely invest deliberately. So you've got the GMB3 right there. And then the book is written in a way to actually help you understand how to apply the GMB3 stocks, cryptos, business. It's meant to help. It is meant to help. Then we've got Kraken received the first major EU MiCA license from Ireland. Wow. Enabling services across 27 EU and 3 EEA countries, similar to Coinbase's Luxembourg license. Luxembourg is a very, very popular place to be based in Europe, or start your legal actions in Europe, because once you get that, you get everything. So there are different places, different ways that you can actually go international. And I was working with an international company, and that's where I learned all that stuff. So very smart moves by both companies. Keep an eye on Kraken, keep an eye on Coinbase. Right? And I like Circle. Circle's getting hit. Circle dropped like 25%, but it's still, I think, like 500%, above where it was, where it started. There are some that are saying, well, we kind of have a price target of 200. Like, it blew up and it's going to settle back down to 200. Interesting. Now, here's what I have an interest in. From a company perspective, besides your stablecoin, what else does Coinbase do to generate revenue? A publicly traded company. That's what we'd have to go look up. And then what do you think is going to be the max for that publicly traded company? Just saying. There are a lot of things to think about when I go look to invest. So that's one of the things I was looking at for Circle is, all right, so what else are you going to do? You got any other tricks? And where's the bulk of that money going is the next question. Now that you're public, is Coinbase still making more money off of you than you make off of you? Just wondering, just curious. So first filings are going to make a big difference. And I think that's when reality starts to settle in, and they settle into their normal way of doing business and all that other good stuff. Just paying attention. Right? Just paying attention to things. You got XRP Ledger launched a permission DEX for institutional trading. That's right. Ripple launched it on XRP Ledger, and it's for institutional trading. In other words, excuse me, we're going to make it easier for institutions to get into the DeFi space. Let that sprinkle over you for a little bit. Just saying, you know how I go back to, banks need to figure out what banks do and what they bring to the table? Look at DeFi. Traditional finance has to look at decentralized finance and go, oh, that's the new world. How do we compete with the new world? Do we compete with it? Do we get involved with it? Just what do we do? Those are big questions that have yet to be answered. Now you know why I say pay attention. Pay attention. Pay big attention. Okay? Pay big attention. Bitcoin mining faced scrutiny for energy consumption, as well in countries like Guinea-Bissau and Papua. I think that's how you pronounce it. Papua New Guinea, advancing digital ID policies as well. So it's kind of like, well, we want to do this digital ID thing. The energy consumption from Bitcoin mining and digital ID, they go hand in hand. Don't get confused. And it's kind of like, well, how does that go and affect us? I'm just looking to see how everything plays out, because that's just going to help me make my investments. It's the outcomes. It's what's going on. Do I have to understand it all? Kind of, yeah. You kind of got to get a grasp on it. But I really just want to see, well, what are they considering versus what are they considering versus what, you see what I'm saying? Each one of these countries around the world are considering different things as they get involved in Web3. And that's why I'm paying attention. What's at the top of their mind versus theirs. And that helps me kind of lay things out. And if I pay closer attention, it'll probably give me a calendar of events. And those calendar of events, good, bad, indifferent, will help me figure out what's going to be the impact. Those are what you call known knowns, things that you know are going to happen, right? And then you have the unknown unknowns, which are macro and micro events that come out of nowhere that just affect your coin, your project, your business, whatever. Like tariffs was an unknown. I mean, you could have guessed at it because he's felt the same way for a long time, but he's never moved on it like this. So yeah, unknown unknowns and known knowns. If you're a project manager, you understand those terms. If you're not a project manager, you do not understand those terms. That's why I gave you the definition. These are things that you must pay attention to if you're going to try to make, the right decisions at the right time for your bags. Now, think about this. This is why I keep telling everybody, everybody's got a risk framework, whether you realize it or not. And it's up to you to actually understand your risk framework, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, how much risk you're willing to take on, how much risk you're not willing to take on for a given, investment. That's the big deal. And so I look at all this stuff and I just kind of go, yeah, okay, so let me start paying attention. That's why I started paying attention to the international news. That's really why I started doing it. That's really why. Because from business to crypto to stocks, bonds, options, everything. Have you been paying attention to everything that's going on in Niger? Between Niger and France. Aha. France's uranium that powers like 60-70% of their electricity, of their energy, comes from Niger. And when you start thinking about that, well, Niger took it back because the company that owned the mines was cheating Niger out of the money. The company was supposed to take 65%. Niger was supposed to get 35%. And since the 70s, the company's been taking 90%. new regimes in place, and they're like, nah, we're not doing that. And it's all right there on paper. So yeah, no, we're not doing that. So they seized the mines. So France is freaking out. So news, I'm telling you, keep your nose in the news. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. There are things around the world. The world is changing. The world order is changing. Those countries that used to be kept under boot are popping up and doing their own thing. And the world's reacting to it like, oh my God. Bound to happen. That's why I look at, when you look at El Salvador and the IMF saying you can't do, El Salvador's like, are you serious? You trying to tell us what we can and cannot do in our own country? Who are you? Now we might need your loan, but who are you? There's only but so far you can go with that nonsense. This is why you pay attention. This is why. Tokyo-based MetaPlanet purchased 1,234 Bitcoin, 1,234 Bitcoin. And at first, it was a weird transaction. Nobody understood. Nobody knew who it was, except for the people that were involved, because that Bitcoin had left Coinbase, and it went to a wallet it went to a brand new wallet. Basically, nobody knew this wallet. It was MetaPlanet. Do you like the number 1234? And it increased. What's funny is it increased their holdings to 12345 Bitcoin. Can't make this stuff up. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I love numbers. French urban climber Alain Robert launched Tiger Shark, a crypto powered by extreme sports feats. He climbed a skyscraper. He's known as the French Spider-Man. That's how he did it. That's ballsy. Love it. Ballsy. Love that. Love that. So yeah, that happened. So now I got to go look up Tiger Shark. DeFi protocol Resupply lost $9.5 million, M with an M, via a flash loan attack exploiting a low liquidity market manipulation with stolen funds routed through Tornado Cash, prompting a market pause and full report release. That's a no bueno situation. 9.5 mil. Oof. That is scary. That is scary. And then Binance is about to delist 5 tokens. I think I should start covering when Binance is gonna list and delist tokens. They're gonna delist Alpha, BSW, KMD, Lever, and LTO on July 4th. That's my dad's birthday. So yeah, citing low trading volume, security concerns, and regulatory compliance issues during its regular review process. Means those coins didn't step up and maintain par, I guess. That's the best way of saying it. They didn't maintain par. That's a problem for them. So they're going to get delisted. Bank of America. Now, this is crazy. Bank of America gave a loan to a 75-year-old woman, right? Her and her husband. They have a loan. And they closed the loan, marked it as paid off, and she had been paying her loan. She'd been paying the loan every month. She says she gets a bill. She pays the bill, track record, everything, and then they close the loan. Like, mark it as you're done. Good job. But it was premature, and now they're suing her to get the rest of the money. And I'm like, but you did it. And it was, and as I was reading it, it's an error because of a post-merger integration that happened with Fleet Boston Financial. They have later dropped the lawsuit after she signed documents with the bank covering correction costs, but not the legal fees. And I'm like, I think that's unfair. Why should she have to cover correction costs? Why should she have to? You made the mistake, and now she's got to pay. What are correction costs? Somebody explain that to me. What are correction costs? Right? You messed up. You should have to pay for it, not her. She didn't do anything wrong. She was happy, silly, paying her bills. You messed up. She should have no costs. You pick up the loan from where it was and you move on. You lick your wounds because you messed up. She shouldn't have to pay anything. I disagree with that. So Bank of America, looking at you. Just saying, just looking at you. Fleet Boston, that's why you got bought. But seriously, Bank of America, you should have eaten that. There are better ways to handle this. Taking a 75-year-old lady to court for what? She could have, not for nothing, she could have been like, F you, I'll die before you, literally, I'll die before you get this money. She could have played serious hardball. She could have been like, time's on my side. I might not live that long. I'm not worried about you and your bills. But she's an honest person. She's paying her bills. But she should not have had to pay that fee. That sucks. That is not cool. It was just an article that came out of nowhere that I noticed. And it just bothered me. It actually disgusted me. So just sharing because I care. What else should we do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let's scoot on over. And the market seems to be opening up a little bit higher for the Dow futures at 123, S&P futures at 21.25, NASDAQ futures at 108. Not bad. Oil also up a smidge at 0.22, but not much. The 10 years down 0.02, not much. Kind of like, all right. What do we have going on this week? Today is Thursday. We've got the advanced U.S. trade balance goods. We've got initial jobless claims, advanced retail inventories, wholesale inventories, GDP, the second revision, some Fed speak. Pay attention. We've already had, 3 people say that they'd be open to a July rate cut. I think there's still chaos. I think that a July rate cut doesn't happen. But if it doesn't happen, the next meeting will absolutely see a rate cut. That's what I think will play out. Durable goods orders tomorrow. You got the PCE information, so we'll see what happens. But I have a funny feeling you're going to have a lot of people come back and talk about how tariffs are hurting me. A lot of companies talking about tariffs are hurting me. Fear and greed index is all the way at 74. It's not a shocker there, right? Total value lock TVL is at 119.646 billion. I was hoping we'd get above 20 at this time, but not so much. Probably tomorrow. Then Bitcoin is trading right now at 107,468. Just wanted to move it in the middle of the screen so you can see it. Not a bad space. Not that far away from a previous all-time high, but it's still not at the all-time high, right? Close. But I don't know if you realize we've been going up for a really long time. We've been creeping up for a really long time. I mean, not really long, but that's a long line in an upward position. I hope you're not thinking what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking it's time that we could hit some resistance and come back down. That's literally what I'm thinking. In the meantime, sprinkle, DCA. Dollar cost averaging is my friend, right? Looking at the big board, okay. I see a lot of opportunity. BTC, since it's not at its all-time high. Ethereum, since it's not at its all-time high. BNB, BCH, Solana, if you're into that kind of thing. Solana hasn't been moving that much. I wonder why. XRP, Cardano, LTC, AVAX, which is Avalanche. Aave is another one. Pepe's down hard. Link is another one I'd get into. SHIB is another one I get into at 11. Oh man, I would definitely get in at 11. Why? Because when it bumps up to 14, that's big money. Just saying. I'm not even playing. I like SHIB, and SHIB has a long way to go before it gets to its all-time high. I think it's going to do well. I haven't seen SHIB be in the news a lot lately. I think. Excuse me. I think that's one of the issues that I'm having right now is that I'm not seeing a a good amount of positive news from altcoins. What's the next bevy of positive news? ETFs. ETFs are the next bevy of positive news. That's what I'm going to be looking for. But yeah, those are things that I'm looking at. Let me just see. Let me just refresh this screen real quick. While we do that, we can look at the big board numbers side by side, looking at the year to date. And I'm kind of like looking at the year to date numbers. The distance between Ethereum and Bitcoin is growing. It's like 41.5%. That's big. That's very big. You've got, but I still like them. I still like them both. XRP is another one that I like. Like it, to me, looks like it smells like opportunity, looks like opportunity. To me, it is an opportunity. BNB is another one. Solana, if you like Solana, I'm not putting any more money into Solana. I have a bag of Solana. I'm keeping it as is. I'm black on it. Meaning I'm in the positive, deeply in the positive on it. So but I'm leaving it alone. I'm not adding to it. Solana has a lot to do. And if they don't do it, you're going to see other coins catch up fairly quickly. But it's been in a downward spin for a little bit and hovering in the 140s like, ooh, this is where I should be. So yeah, I'm not liking that. So I'm not putting money into Solana. Doge, I'm not putting money into Doge. Look how it is, year to date, down 48%, doggone near 49%. Looking at Cardano's down 33%, but Cardano's got a lot of stuff going on. Again, for the millionth, bazillionth time, Charles Hoskinson isn't in the news talking nonsense. Brilliant guy, but talks a lot of nonsense. But their marketing hasn't been doing anything. All this great stuff that you can do with Cardano, and they have not been marketing anything. And it's at 56 cents. Come on, guys and gals. Come on, people. Come on. Let's get that marketing engine going. We need to hear some marketing out of that. Hyperliquid kind of stalled out. I thought Hyperliquid would have been inching up. I thought it would be at 15 already, but we'll see. I mean, it's not in a downward spin. I just thought it would continue moving because there's an opportunity for it to actually bunny hop Cardano. But if Cardano turns on the marketing engine, Cardano's got everything in place. They've got everything in place. They just need to turn on the marketing engine. They turn on that marketing engine, it's a wrap. They skyrocket. That's honestly how I look at it. And I don't know why people sleep on Bitcoin Cash. BCH is ranked number 12. Are you serious? Come on. It's also one of the few that's positive on the year. See that? Not bad. So Bitcoin Cash is one that I like. Sui is one that I like, even though it's suffering right now, 35% year to date. Suffering. Chainlink, 33% year to date. Suffering. But those are two projects that I really, really like. Stellar, suffering. I still like Stellar. Avalanche, suffering. Big. Am I putting money into Avalanche? Me personally, no, but I know a lot of people that do. Avalanche has a lot going on. That's why I say Avalanche could be a good buy for people. I don't have a slot for it. But it could be a good spot for people because Avalanche is another place that does a lot of RWA. A lot of RWA. So I look at that and I'm kind of like, that could be interesting. Toncoin, another one that I still like, even though it's suffering, right? Shiba Inu, still one that I like, even though it's suffering. Just saying, just paying attention. All right, let's take a look at the losers. On the losers side, Psy, somebody was asking last night if I was into Psy. I'm not. It's down 9.1% with a GMB X factor of 3.16. I don't follow it, so I don't have an opinion on whether or not I think it's going to make that 316 GMB X factor. Fartcoin is down 9%. It's got a GMB X factor of 1.58. Dog with Hat is down 8.83% with a GMB X factor of 5.25. Here's the thing with meme coins. They look like they're down. They look like nothing's going to happen. And out of nowhere, they just explode up. When the market explodes up, certain coins, certain meme coins are going to explode up. Fartcoin and Dog with Hat, I think are going to be two of them. Somebody asked me if I'm into pie. Nope, not at all. Not touching it. It's down 8%. Got a GMB X factor of 4.3. Not into it. It's not me. And you come down here, Pepe is down 5.94%, GMB X factor for 1.99. When I look at that GMB X factor, I'm like, yeah, Pepe can do it. Virtuals Protocol is down 6.14%, a GMB X factor of 2.47. I do have a bag of virtuals. I do have a bag. And do I think it's going to make that 2.7? That's why I have a bag. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about this community, because we're the only ones that do what we do. We care about how each other actually learn, the information that we have access to, the lessons that we can teach each other. We're all about growing our bags together and expanding that reach. Education so that you know what to do on the way up and you know what to do on the way down. Mind you, your first investment is right here. That's why I say, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB3. Now, I will not be on tonight. My son graduates today, so it's all about baby boy. It's all about him. But I will be back. I don't know if I'll film another show in the middle of the day and put that on there. It depends on what the news is. If something's pressing, then I'll pre-record a show. But we'll see what happens. All right. Everybody, have a great day. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Have a good one. Bye-bye.